Do you have anything you want to add?
I have 1,000 things I want to add, but I think they're not as connected to your stuff. So I think you going all the way through is a great idea.
So remember, okay, training and nutrition has been off. I have a perfect scorecard. So that in the past, and if I allowed it to get the best of me, would frustrate me. Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
So here's the first thing I do. I change the story. Okay, now, and we talk about perspective all the time, but I literally change the story that I'm telling myself based on where I'm at in order to create a story that serves me. Because the old story would have been, you know what, I'm failing, I have a perfect scorecard, and I'm distracting in the middle of my cut. This isn't what I want for myself.
Sure.
I'm not going to reach the goals that I want by the time that I want to reach them at. And I would build frustration around that. Yep. I would attach to the story that, I'm not going to end my cut as strong as I wanted to, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
But, instinctively this week, without having for me to force it, because we've practiced this for so many years, I changed the story to one that serves me. And so, and some people might say to me when I explain this, you're making up a story. But yeah. I mean, that's exactly what it is. Creating a story of failure is making up a story as much as creating a story that serves you is making up a story.
Yeah.
So, the story that I chose to adopt this week is that, our cut is a long cut.
Yes.
It's 20 weeks. So, on the outside, what happens now is we simply push our cut out by two more weeks. I'm not competing for anything, so there isn't really any timeline or any deadline that I'm up against. I just looking at this as phase 2 of my cut.
Exactly.
And I split it into phases. So this was phase 1. Sure. There was a pause in the middle, and now I'm going into phase 2. But the degree of relief that brings to the perfectionistic quality in my head is unbelievable. And I'm able to sink back in to, okay, I'm back on the journey. And I'm taking the steps towards the rest of the cut.
I'm going to take a moment to put that in practical terms.
Absolutely.
Okay, because changing the story is language we use.
Yep.
And the people who come into the clubhouse and breathe and live the tenets and they become it, they get it. Oftentimes people outside of it don't. And that's not true 100%, but oftentimes change the story. What does that mean?
Right.
So, another way to look at it is changing the narrative. Why do I say that? Well, I mean, look, there was an incident, a racially charged incident in the United States just earlier this week. And it was, awful and disgusting and all these things. And then the President of the United States spoke. And what he said was what he said. I'm not here to judge or criticize, I'm just narrating what happened.
Yep.
The words and the sentiment that President Trump used changed the narrative completely. The story stopped being about what happened and it started being about what he said in relation to what happened. Entire narrative changes. Entire. So if you ever want a classical example, what does changing the story mean? Well, media changes narratives all the time.
So true.
You can change a narrative by simply commenting on one part of one piece of the puzzle, and then the entire puzzle changes shape. Based on whoever the comment was coming from, the narrative changes.
Right.
So that's the point. Yes, you can choose the narrative that for 5 days we fucked up. We didn't do what we were supposed to do. We are letting ourselves down. We are failing. We are not being perfect. That's one narrative.
Yep.
It's not even an inaccurate narrative. But you change the narrative, and all of a sudden, everything changes.
It really does.
What is the one thing that changes? Perspective.
Completely.
That's what changes.
Absolutely. And it's all about what serves you versus what doesn't serve you, right?
Yeah.
When you fall off routine or you fall off your goals, whatever you're trying to create for yourself, ideally we all want to get back into the flow of them, right? So what is going to serve you to get back there with the greatest expedience, no panic? Well, reframe the story. It changes everything.